So, far as you know, my name is Mick, and the Celadon, we're a software development company helping restaurants and food and beverage companies with the tech side in terms of their businesses. And right now, we're running a series of podcasts, and we have around, we've talked to around 30 people, 30 restaurant chain leaders, and we've seen some issues that are happening right now in the market, like high labor and food costs. Customer retention isn't as high as restaurants or companies expected. And also being dependent too much on third party services like third party delivery services. And it's hard for for these companies to have better profitability being dependent on these services. And we would love to hear your perspective on different topics and want to share a white paper about the challenges with some insights about the market, some issues that other companies face. Sounds good?
I'm good. Perfect.
I was managed to do some homework to read about just for a moment, is it properly said?
Cervejaria Dogma.
Cervejaria Dogma. So yeah, I was able to read about the company, but maybe just in a few words, you can give a brief glimpse about what is it the company, what you guys are doing, what's your role in this company.
So I'm a co-founder from Dogma. I think in English it would be like Dogma Brewery. We are a craft beer company here in Brazil. We have now 10 years of Dogma. Our company started like more cooperative of home brewers that were producing large batches by contract. So we were three brands helping each other to start in the market. And after a year and a half, 2 years, we decided to join all the three brands and start the Dogma Brewery. And we produced it by contract for 2 years. And after 2 years of company, we started our first brew pub here in São Paulo downtown. In the neighborhood, it's called Vila Buarque. And there we started a small producing for I think was like 35 hectoliters that time. Now we have a large brewery in the east zone of the city. We are producing 350 hectoliters, so it's 10 times more than our first facility. And we have a chain of bars now. We have a franchise system. So we have here in São Paulo, we have 4 bars and our brewery. But in the brewery, we do not receive people. It's just for production. The large brewery, we are producing there like for 4 years now. So we produce it by contract for 6 years because we do not sell beers only in our bars. We have a distribution. Here in São Paulo, we have, I think, 180 to 150 bars that sells our beers. And we have a national distribution. But in the beginning, the national distribution was really, really more important for us. But after the pandemics, 70 to 80% of our production, it's just for the state of São Paulo now.
I see. Great. Well, that's really great. Thanks for this introduction. And it really, personally resonates with me because I enjoy drinking beer from time to time and knowing more. Always great to hear more about, different approaches, different styles. Every region has its own unique secret, has its own recipe. So right now, as I understand, people can enjoy your crafted beer around 4 locations, and plus some extra branches that are a part of the franchise, correct?
Like we have 2 franchise and 2 bars that we own. 3 in São Paulo, and one of the bars is in a city in the Great São Paulo. And we have far more bars selling our beers. I think last month we reached like 250 bars and restaurants selling our beers here in São Paulo. So we have a contract with because we do not pasteurize our beer, so we have to keep it refrigerated, and we have a contract with a meat distributor that distribute our beers too. Nowadays, they are our partners in the brewery too, and so they have a good capillarity, and this helps a lot to distribute the beer. So they are our greater client, and it's a key part of our business for sure.
I got it. So basically, you managed to hit two birds with one stone. I mean, like, they are delivering their own product. They're also delivered to the destinations your beer. So it's like,
Yeah,
you solve the problem of finding a distributor and delivery company to deliver your beer. Yeah. I guess one of the general questions we often ask is, how do you see the future of your market? How do you see the future of the beer market, and most probably maybe craft beer market? Because I see that it's more and more popular these days, but I also heard that from, like, different, not only breweries but different alcohol manufacturers, that right now the amount of alcohol consumption has decreased a bit, especially within newer generations. So, how do you see the future of your market?
yeah. I think it will be really challenging.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, here in Brazil, we have a problem that I think it's a little bit close to what happened in the United States, like in the 90s. It
Mm-hmm.
was the first boom of craft beer. I think
Mm-hmm.
2017, craft beer was like really increasing the market of craft beer, and it brings a lot of new breweries. The market did not, how can the the word don't came to me now. The market didn't grow a lot,
Mm-hmm.
in like the companies grew. That for just to have like a number, our market grew like 100%. It doubled the size, but got from in 2017 we had like 250 or 400 breweries in Brazil, and now we are reaching like 1,700, 1,700. So it's a lot more competitive, and we have some problems like with like price war, this kind of stuff that when a market is really competitive, we start to have. And but I think this will be like we'll have a market adjustment for in the future, because breweries are not continuing the market, this kind of stuff. But I think there's another problem that people are consuming less beer,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's for that we have two main reasons for that. I think after the pandemics, several people start to think more about like healthy and have this kind of want to like lose weight and this kind of stuff. So they start to consume less beer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is one of the problems, but I think it's not the main problem. I think the main problem is every market needs more people entering in the market for like every year. And it used to have like the people get the legal age of drinking and start drinking and discover beer and start drinking beer. But I think alcohol has what I think the best way to consume alcohol is like for social meetings. I think
Mm-hmm.
the main meaning of consuming alcohol is to like drink with friends and get a little bit less shy and can have like a better talking. And I think the younger people are not getting socialized. They are not socializing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the biggest problem for our market. I think this reason of drinking for like people with like 18 years. I think in the United States, the legal, it's like 20, 21, but here in Brazil,
Mm-hmm.
it's 18. These people are not getting a lot out of home. Like they are not socializing a lot. So when I go to my bars, I just see people with like 30 years plus, and we do not have like young people in the in the bar. So I think the problem that we have to is thinking about in
Mm-hmm.
the I think it's maybe because of the pandemics. I think it's a generation that used to use more like social media and social networks. They and used to like get together a lot. So let's see how it be in the years that are coming.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I'm really curious if the some alternatives to beer or alcohol in general might be the fact. Is I know that in the States, when I had a number of conversations, I heard that some alcohol alternatives like cannabis or maybe medical cannabis, they're also allowed and legalized for people. So is there the same thing in Brazil? Maybe
No.
people. Uh,
Yeah, here in Brazil, you need a prescription,
hmm.
and it's a really bureaucratic.
I
So
see.
not something that really affects our market.
Hmm.
And I don't know if we can. I'd say like in the last 5 years, maybe we have like a market of cannabis drinking or cannabis drinks, because I think Brazil is a really conservative country, and we are not. Our federation, it's really different from the United States. We are the federation, but we are not a real federation. I think
Hmm.
the federals, they are really strong, and I mean, I think really, it's happened like in the United States, California will allow
Hmm.
it, and other states don't. Here in Brazil, it will not like this. So I don't think like 5, 10 years, I've a possible market for Brazil. It's like and but I think the word of alcohol is and like having problems with like the alcohol consumption. I think wine industry and like bourbon or whiskey industry, we have this problem to we are same problem. Yeah.
Yeah. In general, yeah. But when it comes to different tastes, or anything else, what's how beer might outstand some strong drinks, at least in my opinion, is that beer it might give a wide spectrum of different tastes, approach, how it tastes. When it comes to strong spirits, they're usually more or less the same. Here are some notes might be partially different or smell a bit of different, but in general you would still the same notes, same like with a beer. It's totally different
Yeah,
world.
it's I think we have uh, two aspects make us like that is good for us. The first one,
Hmm.
we are than other like premium beverages. For example, I think my most expensive beer that I have will cost like 200 reais. It would be like $35 now, something like this.
Hmm.
And it's my beer. And when we look like wine market, like 200 reais, we are like starting to have a like a premium wine. We have this competitive aspect that for us, and we have like several flavors. And here in Brazil, we can use fruits and other kinds of products. We can make like really different products from each other. So we have nowadays, I think I have 540 different products in my portfolio. So yeah,
Hmm.
but it's really good for our market for sure.
And just out of curiosity, you mentioned the most luxurious beer you have in your collection. Would it be something in terms of imperial style, something like that?
Yeah,
Because I saw that as the most expensive usually.
yeah, it's imperial stout that we aged for 3 years in
Oh,
a bourbon barrel. So yeah,
I see. I see. So
yeah,
it's somewhere between the beer and let's say maybe port wine, given how strong it is.
yeah, yeah,
There is a good stuff. You drink only one can and it not much.
yeah, for sure.
As a co-founder, for you, what are the most challenging? What you are now facing as a co-founder, and what you're responsible for at Dogma?
I think nowadays it's thinking strategies to grow our
Mhm.
market share, because that's what I was talking about earlier. It's really competitive, several brands, so we have to start to something to to grow. Last
Mm-hmm.
year, we made a important change in our strategy
Mm-hmm.
that Dogma started, I think, in Brazil, but of course with other breweries, a market of like expensive beer.
Mm-hmm.
When we in the market, I think the standard for expensive beer were like 18 reais for 350 milliliters
Mm-hmm.
bottle, and we were I think one of the first breweries that started working with cans of like 1 pint can, costing more than 40 reais, and we focused on this market.
Mm-hmm.
But now we have like a large brewery and
Mm-hmm.
we need more customers, so we started to like rethink our portfolio. So nowadays we have beers that starting like in 12 reais, and we have products, well, that cost 200 reais. So it now, I think it's the biggest challenge for us, because when you go to a market that we do not a lot of value, aggregated value. I don't know, it's like this in English to say, like, we are selling like a cheap product.
Mm-hmm.
Our margin, it's really short. So
Mm-hmm.
we need to produce more, and we need to sell more beer to be like uh, a healthy financial company. And I think
Mm-hmm.
nowadays this is our main and of course to make everything together, and like have to grow our production, and we need more credit in the market. So I think nowadays is our main challenge.
Oh, I see. I see. I guess it's a challenge that many companies face, whether it's like, more affordable options of their product or something premium.
Yeah.
Because I also had the same from the restaurant owners, like premium restaurant owners. I guess this is the common challenge for the industry, just like, a different perspective, depending on what you're
Yeah.
selling.
Yeah.
You've been in markets for around more than 10 years.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, that there has been trend in the consumption decrease of alcohol, spirits in general, especially after the COVID. And COVID is itself is like, was a tough challenge for restaurants and restaurant business. How was it in your case? Because basically, like, bars and beer bars, this is the place where people also can communicate and meet each other, but at the same time they're not so dependent on something. But anyway, how was it for you? How was it for Dogma?
I think for us, if we have a problem during COVID, it was because we started to build our new brewery,
Mm-hmm.
beginning of the pandemics.
Mm-hmm.
So, and here it took like an year and a half to have all the licenses and everything. So for our bars, it wasn't like a really big problem, because we solved that like with different kind of products. We made canned releases, so we did not lost a lot of like gross. Word that didn't came to my mind. I think our gross revenue do not suffer a lot in our main bar,
Mm-hmm.
but in the distribution market, that it's like 70% of our of it
Mm-hmm.
was a really big problem. We had a larger like fixed cost, because we have not a new warehouse that we have to pay.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the biggest problem for us, and we are reaching our like uh, volume of production prep COVID. Like we reached that like just last year. We got like 3 years with facing a really big challenge, like in our consumption and the
Mm-hmm.
market share and this. So yeah, it was bad, really bad, for sure.
But if I heard correctly, you mentioned, Bruno, that most of the revenue is generated through distributors for you right now. So
Yeah.
basically, this is what saved your business, basically, I assume.
No, yeah, not actually,
Uh-huh.
because the income that from distributors, it really dropped during COVID. And our bar, we keep our revenue, our bars with like different strategies, but our main revenue was from distributor, and this was like cut at less than a half. So that's the biggest part, because a lot of bars like just broke and closed the doors, and other ones, as we have like several new breweries coming to the market during COVID, because there was a lot of investing in production and coming to the market. So we saw like a market that like getting smaller, several new companies getting, because nobody just just stopped the investment because COVID. Everybody just continued. And so after COVID, I think we have like double of the breweries that we have pre-COVID. You know.
Yeah. That's great. And that's really great, applying different strategies in terms of like, delivering the product to the customer. When it comes to like, channels distribution, I know some restaurants during this period were able to switch to online, and later on some restaurants or companies stayed with online format. How was it for brewery, as for your brewery? As far as I know, alcohol distribution is allowed in Brazil. So did
Yep.
you try this concept, and what was the result for you as well? I mean, like direct to the me as a person, not to a company. That kind.
Yeah, before the lockdown, we were already investing in an app to sell the beers. So I think I just realized the app, but we have like 1 month of the app working. So the lockdown came, so we were already had like this structure to sell our beers. And here, like online beer, we're we're a big market already, because here in Brazil we didn't have like this kind of that we have in United States before the pandemic. So for us, it was a little bit easier to do with that.
Yeah, definitely. I did, but in general, I assume that you do not use any kind of like third party services to deliver the beer to. I mean, like custom, general customers like you. I mean, regular people, because I saw that you have your own delivery service.
Yeah, we have our website, and we sell our beer there. Now we do not have like a cell phone app anymore. We do everything like, because and the app, it's not the best way to sell the beer. It's really easier to connect like Meta, Google to a website than a cell phone app. That's why we do not use the application anymore, and we sell everything from our website.
Every application should its own needs. However, the way how beer types you have and locations and how the business process is built. In your case, I assume that it could have worked like as far as I know, there is an application that is called Untapped, if I'm correct, which allows you.
Yep.
It's like a huge library of various the beer types, and when you're running in those locations, you have different beer types. Plus, you have your own distributors, and you have also I assume your own stock system. So, yeah, in my mind, I often work with that stuff. It's lies perfectly with okay, here is the company that might be owning mobile app, and yeah, you mentioned that this concept, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, I think Untapped, it's a really good tool to understand the market, but unfortunately not a really good tool to have like feedback, because the people have like kind of notes and nobody writing anymore. Just put like a rating, and in 5 for one people with something, 4 and 5 for the others. So we can't use like feedback anymore, but we used to like to map what beer the people more, and some some clients we took like, oh, this guy prefer like haze and these other sour beers, but we're not using it a lot. We do not have it anymore in our bars, but it's a I think it's adaptation for sure.
Yeah, yeah. It also reminds me of Vivino, and
Yeah,
also as you drink a lot of wine, and I check there from time to time. So
yeah,
I was this app given that I wanted to leave a review, and yeah, partially the problem is that you have to describe and write, and maybe write a lot. So if the
yeah,
application would have like let's say this is the beer, I don't know, with chocolate notes, and
yeah,
you leave a review, so you don't have to type too much, especially
yeah,
if you drank it already. The most you the person can do is to tap something, yes or no, choose the slider,
yeah,
and maybe just to leave just a few words about his opinion. And in my vision, this is the only way this feedback might be helpful for you as a
yeah,
manufacturer. But otherwise, you have to analyze all this long text with the different that might be typed in different languages. So it's really challenging. I understand why it's not a
yeah,
concept for you to have a feedback.
yeah.
But I'm really curious, how do you gather feedback from customers, from people, whether they enjoy the beer or not, what haven't enjoyed, or is it simple, just you see the amount of consumed beer and you understand, like, okay, we're going to produce more beer than simply relying on someone's taste.
Yeah, I think social media is like
Mhm.
the most important for us because people they do not like your product, they go there and they start talking about it. So I think it's our main to see think about our beers
Mhm.
and the bar. I think the our bars is the thermometer to our products because there we have like and people say they like it or do not like it and there we have easier to sell different kinds of beers in our bars because we can teach the people and talk about it because like in the distribution our main product is IPA. We sell only IPA, and when we go to our bars we sell like anything, porters, stouts, saisons, and sours. It's really easier to sell different kinds of beers in our bars because our team that are trained to like teach the consumer about the product. But in distribution, it's like IPA for the
The most consuming thing. I think it also, in terms of why it's IPA, the climate. When it's hot, you don't have too much desire to drink dark beer because it's more.
yeah,
It kills you.
yeah. But it's easier to sell like than like a wheat beer
Yeah,
or really light beer. So
yeah, something like a standard
yeah.
practice. Okay, Bruno, I'm really curious about, as you said, that you have around four locations, one manufacturing brewery, and also three restaurants that are working as a franchisee. How many people does it take to run the place? How many of you guys?
Yeah, we have like at the brewery now we have 8 people.
Mhm.
They took like the brewery and our website selling. So we
Mhm.
have 8 people there. In our bars we have more 7, and so 15. And the odd thing I think we have more 5. So what? Like 20 people, 20,
Oh,
21. Yeah.
so far so good. You're really efficient at what you're doing. Having 20 people around, four locations and the brewer. That's really impressive. And the most operationally challenging stuff, maybe that you see, that you face in general.
For us, it's food because it's not our like expertise,
Mhm.
and we depend from of like third parties producing the food for us because we use like that ovens that we have
Mhm.
like air fryer with microwave. So I think is the main problem get quality,
Mhm.
and so I think it's our challenge
Mhm.
nowadays. It's like have a good food for our bars because we do not have like a kitchen operation and this kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And in terms of like operational functionality, when you work with lots of distributors and companies, and I guess you said that you're shipping your product to around 250 bars nowadays. How I mean, like, usually companies that I talk to, they use different tools like stock system or their own distributor platforms to track all the orders that you haven't missed anything, that kind of trick. What's your approach here? Do you have some kind of like maybe a platform or
Yeah,
something that helps you with that?
yeah, we use like SAP,
Hmm.
the business one.
Hmm.
So I think we were the we were for them and the market. And
Hmm.
after that, they have up to small breweries. So it helps a lot because we have like four companies and we have
Hmm.
to put everything in the same system. So yeah, we are using like the SAP business one. But it's I think system it's always complicated. Because, and I think SAP is a little bit more because if you do anything wrong, it's complex to fix the problem. I mean, we are now to have like 5 or 6 years of
Hmm.
SAP now, so now we know how to use it. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got it. Maybe there is something that you like that or you would have, because I often hear that it might be a challenge when using some kind of a tool that's like analytics or maybe something like the
yeah,
prediction functionality, given the popularity of AI as well these days. I
yeah,
heard some operation managers they would love to have some analytics or prediction tools to have in terms of
I
like
think yeah,
demand and consumption.
yeah, and we have in our operation. It's because our bars use like a system called Links. It's a
Hmm.
Brazilian system, and we have to get the information and
Hmm.
the SAP, and they do it automatically. So every day, I have one partner in the company like CFO, and he has to put everything there after the close of the bars. So every morning he goes and put it manually, but
Hmm.
it's a it's okay. We are talking about like a really big chain of like 50 bars, so we can do it manually.
Yeah, 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 definitely. Everything's automated, but in time, because just like get stuck into automating the automation. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess only one question I wanted to ask is about the loyalty program, because I also faced it in terms of like breweries and some bars or shops. They have loyalty programs. How does it work in your case? Do you have your own loyalty program? Is it
Yeah.
as simple as that, or maybe it's also maybe an application, something?
Yeah. Um, we have like in our bars we do not have a loyalty system. We have just
Hmm.
like a card, and the people drink, and we stamp. And
Hmm.
after 10 beers, he can choose one to have for free. But we have like a signature club. So the
Uh-huh.
people buy it and they receive like 2 cans or 4 cans every month, and they have like 20% of discount in our website. And we make try to make like products, like sometimes like glassware that exclusive or another kind of product. So I think it is the main loyalty system that we have now in the company.
I got it. I got it. By the way, the application that you mentioned that you once tried to launch, did it also support the idea of loyalty program, or was it just like to test some functionality?
No, it was just for sell the beers. It was like was a white label
Mm.
from, I think it was from Meta. And we do not use it anymore. But at the website, we are started thinking about like a cashback system or something. Like uh, we have like in the Bitcoin how committed here in Brazil. So we are starting to think about like cashback in Bitcoin, something like this. And I think it's the startup that accept Bitcoin as a method of payment, but I think nobody wants to like buy beers with Bitcoins. But we have this this in our bars.
Yeah, but I guess that there's a term of payment. It's something like only some people might know, but at the same time, as your customers are mostly 30+ years old, they should definitely know how to use crypto. But still, I assume that or standard digital ways of payment are more common rather than crypto.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I guess all of my questions. Thanks for your time and for the helpful insights, Bruno. Appreciate that. We're going to share with you the white paper with everything that was going on in the market and some other insights that are happening. Given what you said about the technology in general and how to use SAP, and that you were trying to approach the mobile application, it made me think that we did a number of similar things for some of our customers we work with, like San Martin Bakery and Restaurant from Central America, or some other a bit smaller companies. And I'm really curious if you're opposed to discussing it a bit more, if how we as a company might be helpful. Because as I said in the beginning of our conversation, basically we're a software development company helping restaurant food beverage companies. And I was wondering if there was something we can help with to dig in deeper into into business and see if we can help something. That's great. But if not, it's up to you pushing.
Yeah. I think we can talk with my partner that take about this part of the company. So I think it will be better to say if there's that we can work together or not. I think I'm not the best person to think about it, but we can talk with him for sure.
Yeah. Do you think next week, same time, might be a good idea?